Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, and welcome to another chapter working on that guy right there. That's our A-10C Thunderbolt 2 by Great Wall Hobbies. Get that intro going, we'll get started. Well guys, we're back and we are continuing on our build. Last time we got our landing gear installed, which took me a lot longer than I really thought it would be just to put these in. But really what the pain was our little doors on the bottom here that were really kind of delicate and took some time to put those on. Anyway, that part's done. I did off camera, as you might be able to see, I got my little tray of water here because I've been putting a bunch of decals on all the bombs. I'm still not quite done because there's quite a bit of ordnance on these planes, and which means there's quite a bit of decals. So I'm just kind of, working at it. I still got a few bombs to do, but I'm slowly getting there. I'm getting there. So I'll put this off to the side because I'm not focusing on decals right now. That's not what we're going to be doing. I wanted to get to what my plan was last time, was to actually work on the canopy, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, so let's change the camera and we'll see what we need to do here. So for the canopy, it looks like we've got to put some mirrors on around our little circumference here, and we've got to put our little insert into that. So the insert, remember we assembled this long time ago now, and that's here, and I've painted it black. Okay, so that's ready to go in. The mirrors have been painted chrome with the Molotov chrome on there on the side that should be chrome. I'm going to move my little bombs out of my way here just so that I can I need to sort them from what needs to be decaled and what doesn't. Just bear with me here while I put these aside. This one's done. That's done. These are done. You're not. You guys aren't. Okay. So we got to grab my N tree. Where's N? N. That's J. That's I. Here's N. N. Okay. So, N, we've got three little mirrors, N37, and that's these three right here. If I flip them over, you can see they're nice and chrome, right? Catch that in the light, they look like mirrors. Yeah. Okay, those guys. Let's get these off of the trees. Go. So that's it for that. Now, I've got to grab the actual glass. Now I have already this is masked and painted fuselage colors, so that'll match up nice. Could use a little bit of a polishing, or get rid of some dust and whatever. Did have somebody comment on my video when I removed the center seam line through there, that's actually should be visible on this plane, that there is an antenna or something that goes through the glass there. So I replied back to him and said, well, then I guess it's a good thing that I didn't quite get rid of it 100%, because if you really look at it, I don't know if the camera will really get it, but if you really look at it, there is a kind of a seam line still going through there. So I didn't completely eliminate it. It is still there, just very more, it's a lot more subtle, let's put it that way. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so they show in the picture there should be three little notches for our mirrors to go into. And if I look closely, there's a little notch right here and here in the middle, and this one's not as pronounced, but yeah, there is a little something right here, right in there. So that's where our mirrors are supposed to go. this is going to be a bit of a task to get these on here. If my tweezers could hold on to them long enough. I do want to clean up my little nubs and get these smooth here. So there's one. Let's put them on the white area so I can see them. Now the mirror part, the chrome side, of course it faces inside, so you're not really going to see the chrome part unless you really get in there at a good angle and look. It's just, this is one of those details that you know it's there, and so you remember doing taking the time to do these, and so yeah, that's about it really. Okay, so I'm going to use my thicker glue. Grab onto this here. Like that, and so then I can go in here like this, and I'm just going to go in something like right there. Okay. These are not held on by any strength at all. Okay, so he goes right here. Right there. There's one. I don't know if you guys can see what I just did. It's right in there. That's one. A little blurry. There we go. Okay. So, next. Glue. That was a little much, but that's okay. Put him up in the middle here. Kind of slipped and my tweezers don't want to hold them. The tweezers got some glue on them, so instead of letting it go, I want to pull them in a weird angle. There we go. That's number 2. Sort of. There we go, that's better. A little more straight. Okay. And we got a third one here. Right there. There we go. Just like that. So that's our 3 mirrors in. Just like that. Okay? So as long as you don't touch them, they'll be fine. You don't want them sitting proud of this line. You don't want them sticking out. When you've got this flat like this, you should not see your mirrors. Okay? They shouldn't be hanging out. So that's, I've got them correct right now. So there we go. So next is this piece here. Actually, next is a sip of my coffee. I got 15 minutes and then I got my chicken out of the oven. I got chicken cooking right now. So this kind of just drops in there like this. And so I'm going to take some extra thin and I'll put that in there. Just like that. And we'll run some along the edge here. Like so. And like that. Put a little extra dab on our tips just to ensure I've got enough there. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a press just to make sure it's actually making contact everywhere. And that's that. All right. So that's our canopy. This is what I wanted to get done last time, but I spent so much time on the landing gear that I didn't have time to do this. Okay, so let's see what's on the next page here. We flip our page over. We've got the little filler part, A-16, that goes onto the back here. I also have that painted fuselage color. As you can see here, it fills in this little latch area for it. Let's find A-16 here. A, of course, being our big honkin' tree with only a few parts left on it. These parts aren't even going to be used, so these are basically garbage. Got a couple of things. I got this, I don't know what that is. We've got our ladder. I still have to paint the ladder. And then we've got our access door panel here, and then we've got that little piece, A-16. And that's all that's left on the sprue. So let's get A-16 off of here. Okay. Clean it up. You're going to be using A-16 whether you've got the canopy open or not. They do show you on the other page. This is obviously canopy open. They show it right here, open state. If you flip the page, you have the closed state. You're still going to use A-16, but you're going to cut the tab off of it, right, and put it on. And then, of course, if you're having your little door closed, it's the same door, A-14, but again, you're going to cut the little tab off of it, right, to put it on. But as I'm having this displayed open, we're going to keep the tab on here, and it's going to go onto here. So you put it, it's got a little bit, I don't know if you can see on the camera, you can see it in the diagram, it's got a little bit of a hump right here on the one side that goes towards the glass. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're putting it on. It's going to go right in there. Are you going to go right in there? But actually, you know, they show in the picture that it goes right up against, but there's actually a little bit of a gap. As I put that into the little square block, there's a gap. Let me show you here. Let's get my hands out of the way. There is a gap there. It's in its block, and there's a gap there. You gonna see that gap? Like that. But they don't show a gap here, so I'm a little concerned. I want to do a test fit. I'll close up my glue and get it out of the way. Now that she sits on her feet, still, this thing still will sit on her butt if you just tap it a little bit. See, I know that this sits basically like this. So then, how is that going to work? If this is like this, that's going to sit like that. I almost think it's going to be better if I wait until this is glued in and then put A-16 down on there. I think that would be a smarter choice rather than trying to put it on here and hope it all lines up. Especially I have this all masked off, so I can't get this at the right angle right now. So, yeah. So, that's it. We're going to just wait. We're going to wait on the assembly of this particular part. I'm going to put this over here so I don't lose it. Actually, I'm going to put it in the box. Less chance of it being lost. Okay, so basically that's it for our canopy. That's all done. That's ready to be installed now. Okay, canopy's finished. Let's put our canopy back over here where she was sitting happy. With this basically done, 09 and 08, that's already on the plane and been installed. Same with 05, that's already installed. All of our little bits down here are done, except once I've got decals and stuff installed on the plane, then I'm going to put the ladder on and her door that goes on the side here. So that's going to be kind of an end game kind of thing. We flip over. Here's our closed canopy options. All of our weapon pods. Of course, I'm still really disappointed that I only had one Q8 in the box. They don't put two Q8s on the tree, so you're kind of screwed as far as that goes. I've showed you this before. There's only one Q8 on here. Number 8, that's 5, sorry. Number 8 right here. There's only one 8, and that's it. You don't get two of them. Although I do have a Q4 that looks like it could possibly be. You know what? I'm just going to take number 4 off here. It's almost falling off anyway. That's it. That's the end of this sprue. I'm going to put you here. I'm going to cut this up and throw you in my garbage. You are garbage now. Garbage, garbage. Okay. Q4 looks like it could be the cover for one of my bombs. It's the clear nose piece. It's this thing. It's right there. That clear lens that goes on the front. Only have one. This looks like the same thing. On the sprue, it looked bigger. And it is. It's not the same diameter. It's like it's for something different. And now it's... Oh, thank you, Lord. It doesn't quite... It doesn't match. It doesn't match exactly. I'm going to use it. I tell you what, I'm going to use it. Even though it's not an exact match, I think it's better than not having anything there. At least I got something on the nose of that bomb. I would rather have that than to leave it in its current state. The diameter is correct as far as fitting on there, but it's really rounded, which makes it look a little strange. Okay, so there we go. She's got a glass tip now, just like her brother. But like I said, the diameter is not the same exactly, so it's just not the same. It's close, but it's not quite. But that's my only option as far as that goes. So it just kind of is the way it is. And of course, I've already assembled all of our pods and all of our bombs and everything like that. They're already assembled. These are all done. It's decals that I'm doing. And you can see I'm crossing them off as I got them done, just because there's so many. But I've also got all of our pods done. I can install the pods. I think we can do that today, guys. I got just under 5 minutes here, and I gotta run away for a minute. Let's find our pod tree. Basically, one particular sprue has about 80-90% of our pods are all on the R tree, right? So what they do is they have them numbered for you. As you can see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all these different pods. So you can see which ones, where they go, okay? So let's start. I'm going to keep them in numerical order. Let's go number 1. Where are you, number 1? I think this might be number 1, but I cut the spruce so that I could get in there and paint and also install our little bomb mount. I think this is number 1. Yes, it is. Number 1 is, it's got this little thing on it, and there it is there. So number 1. Then number 2, and number 3, number 3, number 4, five and 6. It's 5. And then number 6, where are you? Right here. Although our diagram doesn't look like number 6 at all, the drawing of number 6 looks totally different. That could be an error in their drawing, but that's number 6, the actual number 6, but the drawing is totally different. The drawing looks like number 5. Anyway, so let's grab our plane and flip her over. So it looks like we're basically just working our way in, right? But what I need to do is make sure I got no nasty nubs. It's going to interfere with the nice flush fit. As you may have guessed, you look at your sprue and the way mine was, I had already trimmed, cut away some of the nubs so that I could get in there with paint and paint there. But I need to make sure that I did a good job, because once these are on, it's going to be near impossible to clean up the nubs without either damaging it or breaking it off again. So you got to be careful of that. Especially the amount of pressure I need to push on that to clean that big fat nub off of there. There we go. That's 2. I got less than a minute. You're going to hear my phone go off. Those are clean. And this guy. It's 1, 2, and 3. 4. And 6. And I think that's just in time for me to run away for a minute. Yep. Okay. My nubs are clean, but I gotta go take my chicken out of the oven. I'll be back in a minute, guys. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, so we can actually assemble these now. I say assembly, but I really mean install. We'll do a test fit here. This one goes on here. And we've got holes that don't quite line up. Which is really unfortunate. Why don't our holes line up? Like they literally don't line up at all. We're off. Just doing a test. They don't line up anywhere. These are the closest, so this is right, but they don't line up. So what I'm going to do, the funny thing is they won't even go in the hole. Oh, it does. So I'm going to line up the forward hole and I'm going to cut off the tab on the rear one. So we know that one doesn't fit. Let's test the number 2. Number 2, same thing, doesn't line up. Number 3. Doesn't line up. Going for a trend here. Number 4. Doesn't line up. It's almost none of them line up. Oh, number 4 lines up with number 2. Well, actually, not quite. Yeah, it does. It lines up, but it's not meant to go there. The curvature doesn't line up with the wing. Okay, number 5. We got him going to this spot here. Number 5 would go here, and is way off. You guys see that? Like that's way off. So it looks like I am going to be trimming off number 6. Holy crap, that's way off. I don't think number 6 is actually supposed to go here. Number 6 feels like it should be number 3. In fact, it is. Number 6 lines up perfectly there. I don't think number 6 is supposed to go in the middle. this looks like it's its own thing. Let me see. Let me find it. You know what? I'm correct. Number 6 is number 6 in here, but it's a totally different pod. That was my mistake. And I'm pretty sure it's actually on its own screw, maybe. Let's see if I can find it. I think I'm wrong on that also. Where is my screw? Interesting. I don't seem to have that pod. Oh, you know what? I do. Bingo. Right there. I had them sitting over there. And I also have this one. This is the duplicate number 5. Right. I had them painted last, so that's why. So there's my number 6. My actual number 6 goes into the center of the plane, which is why we only have one. This, I believe, holds the fuel tank. Let's see if number 6 fits. This guy is off to the side here. Let's see. Hey, we've got one that fits. Do we? Do we really? Yes. It's tight, but he fits. Yes. One success. Let's glue him down. The rest of them all need to have their little tabs trimmed. Every single one. Let's make sure he's down all the way. There we go. Okay, so there's one. So the rest of them all need to have their pins trimmed. Okay, I'm going to line up the front forward pin on them, on each one, and trim the rears on each one. That's what I'm going to do. I know roughly where they're supposed to go. I just need to make sure they're straight. There's that one. Now it could be I'm fully willing to admit that I drilled the holes wrong in the wrong spots. I am willing to admit that. It is a possibility. But to get it wrong on every single one, that just means I'm special. I have talent to get them all wrong. 5 of the 6 are wrong. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so with that done, now they're trimmed. I can put them on. Just line up the forward hole and just make sure it's straight. Is really all I need to do. Glue it down. A little bit of pressure. There we go. Okay. Number 2. Number 2 is a tight fit, but it's not too tight. Once I get the glue in there, I can press it down and get it to convince it to go in its hole a little easier. There we go. Just like so. Okay. Just making sure they are lined up straight where they're supposed to be. Number 3. Now this is the danger, right? You can accidentally, because I only have one pin, you could do this and have it totally way off. So I am trying to get them straight on there, as straight as I can. You don't want crooked bombs, that's for sure. Give her a little bit of a press. There we go. Number 4. There we go. I'm just going to turn them around. Make sure I'm lined up in the center here. That looks pretty straight. All right, and finally number 5. Goes back here into his nice little home. He's nice enough to kind of want to sit straight even without the rear pin. But he doesn't want to sit straight up and down. That's another thing you want to make sure, is make sure you're perpendicular to the wing, right? You want them straight, or at least as straight as you can get them. For number 1 here, it doesn't seem to be all that great. Number 2. Okay, I think my number 2 is actually incorrect, although it looks correct here. I don't think I have it right. I think I got the wrong one on there. So I want to see the other number 2, what they would call number 10. Which would be this guy here. I want to see how he fits and take his pin off. They might be left and right. The reason I think that is I think this little sticky outy part, I'm going to call that the little bubble, and this little bubble, they sit on a certain angle like that, right? It's not just straight like this, it's a bit of an angle like that, right? It's kind of like this. And it was just not looking right on the wing here. Even these ones are fine, these are great. But this guy just did not look right. So I want to see. They're actually the same, I think. No, they're not. And even this one looks not quite right. This one does look better. So I'm going to glue this one in. Okay, so I believe left and right specific. So that's something to watch out for. before you commit to the glue. Once again, I'm going to take all of our pins off the back. That's already done on that one. Get this off of here. And get the pin off. Clean them up. Now this one's a little bit gnarly looking because it's had glue on it. I believe this one actually had 3 nubs. Oh no, yeah, 3 nubs on this one. That's our wing pod. These are definitely the most outer ones. I'm going to have to decide which side. Yeah, this definitely has a bit of a, you know, it sits a certain way. And I could really tell when I put the other number 2 on there. Let's call it the other number 2, but when I put number 10 on the proper side, I guess it's technically number 2. When I put it on the correct side, suddenly it hangs properly. A little bit of a parting seam along the top of this one. So I'll just kind of scrape that away. Make sure my parting seam doesn't interfere. Okay. So let's take a look at this again. Now that our wing pod, you notice the wings on these, they tip kind of upwards. Okay, they tip up. And so your pod should still, it shouldn't be 90 degrees to the wing, it should hang vertical. That's how you know you have it correct. It should be vertical, straight up and down. Not like this, not 90 degrees to the wing, right? So that's how I realized I had them on the wrong side. Okay, these are correct. They're sitting nice and horizontal, or not horizontal, vertical, nice and vertical. These don't have it. These center ones don't have to because this is flat, straight across here. Okay, so that's not so much of an issue. It's our tips, our wing tips that we have to concern about. Okay, I'm going to work my way out this way this time. So we're going to grab our skinny one. Goes right here. Line that up like that. This is an interesting little dilemma. This sits further forward than it really should. So, because of that, I'm going to have to take the other pin off. That's weird. Why does it sit more forward? So I'm going to have one pod that's literally only held on by the glue, like this. Line that up. I've got to line it up with this one. That looks pretty close. What about there? I think. Sorry if my head was in the way there, but I needed to see to get that guy on there in the spot that he needs to be. I think I got it lined up, so my bombs should line up. really hard to tell if I got it exact or not. I think I got it. Because I'm not actually having any pins sticking in it, I gotta make sure it's gonna be held to the fuselage nice and strong and straight up and down. I think I got it. Okay, so there's that one. It's an unfortunate thing that it wasn't done correctly. Okay, so we got to match up this guy. Nope. This guy goes here. Get in your hole. It's a tight fit. I'm gonna have to open up that hole a little bit. There we go. Okay, he looks good. And looks straight. It's a tight fit on him. It's not a bad thing. Tight fit is okay. A little bit of a press, make sure he's down in there. There we go. And he's straight, so he's good. Next, this guy. Is it just me? I'm missing pods here. I only have 2 left, and I got 3 holes. I know why. There's another pod that's on a separate sprue. He's all by himself for some reason. And I don't have him painted. I don't have him painted the proper color. But, do I have the correct one? Let's just make sure I'm putting the right one in the right spot. No. This guy's kind of unique. All on his own. He doesn't match up with anyone else. He's a little shorter than both of these. Shorter than that one. This guy is a unique little bird. All on his own. So, let's go do our outside ones. Is this the one I had tried on this side? Yeah, let's go with this one. He goes here, and he's sitting proper. Yeah, so I definitely had them backwards. I had the wrong one there. Definitely had the wrong one on this side. A little bit of a squeeze. Here we go. All right, that one's in, which means the one going on the outside here is the correct side for this side. Get the rear lined up. Perfect. Little squeeze. Lined up. Perfect. So that should be sitting nice and vertical when you're all said and done. Okay, so I have 2 more pods, but this guy is really weird and unique. Why is he strange? And of course I don't know which one he's supposed to go in. But it's weird that he's different than this side. I have a feeling I messed up. Just bumped this. Mistake. Oops. So let me get this other one off the sprue. I have a feeling one of these is supposed to go on the other side. These are probably not the same. No, these are different. He has to match one. He's got to be a match. No. 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 No, it doesn't match any of them. Weird. Very, very weird. Because he doesn't match, I don't know where he's supposed to go. Anyway, I now have these 2 pods. They don't match. Well, actually, they do match. They do match. These match. But does he match that one? Or is it that one? It's this one. He's number 2. Or is he number 9? Number 9 and number 2. They're the same. This guy's in the wrong spot. And he's stuck good now. But we can convince him to come out. Okay. So don't be like me. Pay more attention to which ones go where. Which means this little guy goes here. This guy goes here. Making sure he's straight. wrong side. Wow, there's a constant. Actually, I'll just wait for that. He's got to go here. I've got these ones backwards. This would have been a lot quicker of a task had I paid more attention to which sides were which. So learn from my mistake, guys. You won't have to worry about this as much as me if you pay attention to your lefts and rights. Okay, that is it. Now the only problem is this is not, I haven't painted this the proper color. This is still kind of primered color, so I need to paint this and I need to put on our little things. So I've got one more to do. The rest are done finally, and they're on the right spots and the right sides. Finally, that was a lot more problem than what it should have been. But yeah, like I said, pay attention to where they go. Don't be like me. I just broke this loose. Yeah, so that's it. We're gonna let this dry. Okay, we'll let that dry, and let that all dry. I need to paint this. While I'm painting this, I might as well touch up my little smudge that I've got on the side here. I think it's the same color, so that won't be an issue. But yeah, we're gonna let that dry, and that's where I'm gonna leave it for today. I've got to get going. That's it for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the support. Please, if you haven't subscribed already, down there in the corner, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And hit like and leave me a comment if you feel like it. I really appreciate you guys. I want to thank you so much. And we'll see you all in the next one.